Hey everybody, it's Stanley here from Lion's Tooth Wellness, and I'm going to show you how to make a tincture today, the traditional method of tincture making. So tinctures are the most readily available medicine that can be quickly absorbed to the bloodstream, so typically they're used in acute conditions. You can make tinctures in various ways. You can use alcohol, you can use vinegars, you can even use vegetable glycerin. These are all forms of extracting agents that get all the constituents out of the plants. They certainly vary from plant to plant. Some plants prefer alcohol, vinegar, water, as far as the different availability of the nutrients to be absorbed by these different menstruums or liquids. But for the most part, alcohol is your best bet for most plants, whether it's leaf, flower, or root. And I'm going to be showing you the traditional folk method of making your own tinctures, and I am going to be using 80 proof vodka. I've got my Smirnoff here. You can use any variety you want. It really doesn't make a difference. Some people use brandy. Some people will get even fancier. But we'll be keeping it simple with vodka here, and we're going to be using violet leaf and flower that I just wild crafted this week. And actually, if you ever buy lettuce greens at the grocery store, keep these containers because they're really handy for harvesting your plant matter, and if you can't make your medicine right away with them, you can store them in the fridge, of course, just like you would greens, and they keep really nicely, so you can see how fresh and beautiful these violets and the leaves still are. So first things first, what you need is your fresh plant material. You could also use dried, but this demo is going to be for fresh plant material only. You're going to want a mason jar. You're going to want to label your mason jar. As you can see, I've labeled this as violet. And you're going to put the date about 30 days from now. So I've dated mine a month from today, and that is when your tincture will be ready to strain off. What else do we need? Just a cover for your mason jar, which is right here, and then of course your extractant or menstruum of choice, which I have alcohol. Because violet leaf and flower are so delicate and so tender, I don't really need scissors. If it was a tougher material or something like a stinging nettle that you didn't want to necessarily get stung by as you were processing, you would use scissors to chop it up into little pieces and put it into your jar. But I am just going to take handfuls here and simply tear it with my fingers. This is another great way to put your own love and energy into this process, thanking the plant, asking its energy to be provided within the tincture for whatever purpose you're hoping to use it for. For me, violet is one of my favorite, just really heart-healing herbs on an emotional level, but also for the breast tissue, for any sort of growth in the body that is not good for, for its functioning, whether it's cysts, whether it's fibroids, any sort of tumors or growths. Violet helps to break them down and flush them out. You can use the tincture, again, just as is, a few drops in the mouth, under the tongue, of course, always bearing in mind, everyone's a little different as far as dosage, so always checking with your healthcare practitioner for your particular dose. Or you can also take tinctures, just pulling some pine needles out here, we don't need those. You can also add tinctures to water and take that way. So if you already have a heated constitution, maybe you're already a little bit more susceptible to inflammations, you don't really want to add more alcohol to your life. So a great way is to water it down and just take tinctures in water, and that makes it almost into more of a potent tea, if you will. But again, alcohol is a really great form of tincture because it's absorbed readily right into the bloodstream, so it starts acting right away. You don't have to digest it first like a tea or a capsule or even a powder. The body knows exactly what to do with it, and it starts working pretty much on contact of your mouth and your esophagus. So it's really amazing stuff. But violet is also wonderful for the nervous system. It's really great for calming the chatterbox brain or racing thoughts or anxiety type mind, especially when it comes to insomnia, things that keep you up at night, the sort of never-ending list of to-dos, perhaps, is what is keeping you from getting a good night's rest. Violet helps to calm those. It's also a really delicious springtime green. I like making pestos. I like simply putting violet leaves into my salads, sandwiches. It's really nice, especially before it gets old. These are really fresh, new leaves. They just blossomed this Monday, actually. So So they're very tender and sweet, but they will get more bitter as time goes on through the season, but their medicine is still potent, just a little bit less enjoyable eaten as a food. So I'm filling this tincture container, this mason jar, all the way up to the top with our delicious, beautiful friend, Viola Odorata. Now typically you'll see the purple flowers, you'll see the white flowers, maybe even light, like a lavender color, like a very pastel-y purple. And then often you'll see yellow ones. Those are more found deep in the woods, not necessarily the meadows and lawns where I found this particular violet. And as far as I know, the purple ones are a lot safer to work with versus the yellow. The yellow is a little bit more potent, not as simple for our bodies to break down, although I do know some herbalists who use them. I would veer away from the yellow violets and stick towards the purple and light purple colors and white. All right, so we're almost done here. A few more leaves and flowers. And you don't want to pack your plant material in, but you really want to fill it up. I have a little bit more here. There's chickweed at the bottom of this one. We don't want to mix these. We just want the violet for today. I'm going to take one more handful. Blessing this amazing herb, giving it thanks and gratitude for helping make this medicine, offering itself to some helpful healing work for whoever is going to use it. Definitely I will be, but my clients as well. So as you can see, this is pretty much filled to the top here. I'm not, again, cramming it in, but this is a nice full container. Next, we're going to grab our alcohol and we're going to pour. Be mindful, this is a little bit of a messy process because we're going to fill it all the way to the tippy top eventually. So right now I'm filling it just about an inch away from the top. And I've realized I forgot one of the materials, which is a chopstick. You need a chopstick to kind of poke things around. I'm going to grab one. And this helps to get all the air bubbles out. So you really are just poking everything around. Making sure that you put your label on the container first, because we're going to make a mess in a minute and it's harder to put a label onto a jar that's a little bit more damp. So make sure you've labeled your container with what's inside, what sort of menstruum, and the date, about a month from the day that you make it, so you'll know when to strain it. It's also nice to kind of slap on the bottom a little bit, a couple times, again, just to pop any of those air bubbles. Air invites microbes and mold and things into the mix, of course, because air just creates space for those dudes to jump on into our tincture, so we don't want that to happen. It hasn't happened to me yet, but there's always a first time, so you don't want to leave any gaps for air. So you're going to fill it all the way to the tippy top. I'm going to poke it around a couple more times. And then I'm going to fill it literally right to the edge so that when I put my cover on, it's going to spill over. We want to seal this completely full, completely tight. So again, prepare for a little bit of cleanup here. So I can see that it's just about to spill over. And then I really make it spill over by sealing it tight with some paper towels here to really make sure that cover is on good, and then I'm going to wipe it dry. I've already, my label smeared a little bit, but that's all right. It's still intact. You can still read it. And then you're going to want to store this guy in a dark, cool place for, again, those just about 30 days. Typically, it's 6 to 8 weeks that you keep your tincture brewing or macerating. And you want to visit it, I say, every day if you possibly can, shaking it, giving it love and healing intentions, and just, again, offering it gratitude. The plants are amazing healers, but they really deserve our respect for offering this medicine to us. So always being mindful of that aspect and just really instilling your hopes for how you use this medicine, your love, your intention. These are all really important things to put into your medicine that no one else can do for you. You can't buy a tincture like this at a health food store because no one's going to instill the awareness, love, and conscious sort of participation that you are when you're creating your own medicine for yourself, your friends, and your family. So every day, shake it, give it love if you can. Dark, cool place it sits. And then when June 6th comes around, I will go grab this. I'll get my funnel. I'll get my cheesecloth. I'll cut a little piece of this cheesecloth to put in the bottom to catch the plant matter. I'll get another mason jar of equal size, and I will transfer the tincture over, making sure that the cheesecloth is catching any of the plant material. You don't want that to go into your finished product. Once it's all strained out, you date it for the date that you strained it. So again, it would be June 6th if that's when I do it. Cap it and keep it in a dark, cool place. I've never had an issue with a tincture going bad. So in my opinion, in my experience, there is no expiration date, especially if you're using alcohol, because alcohol is like one of the best preservatives available to us. So as long as you're keeping it in a dark, cool place, you're keeping it covered, and you're not letting anything else get into it, there should be no reason for your tinctures to go bad. But you will know if they have, because it will taste funky. It will taste like it's gone rotten, if you will. So there you have it. That's how you make a traditional tincture folk method, and I hope you jump in this springtime season, go out foraging, see what's around you, and go to town with building your own apothecary. If you have any questions, don't ever hesitate to contact me at my website, lionstoothwellness.com. Have a beautiful day and happy tincturing.